Welcome back for another episode of Voices of New Eden. There are a lot of players who claim that Eve is dying, that there aren't enough new players. As someone who regularly works with brand new players, I can assure you that's not the case. What is the case is player retention. Creating core memories for new players is a surefire way to make sure that they stay in the game. And I can tell you that this player that we're about to interview had one heck of a moment. But you need to check out the video to hear more. Before we jump into the 7th interview, I'd like to take a moment to ask you to give the videos a thumb up. And of course, if you want to be notified of the 8th video, subscribe to this channel. Now, we have an incredible player journey to listen to. Let's get into it.
Perfect. I am Boolum, in-game name Boolum. I kind of go by Boolum1 on the internet and my streams and my YouTube and things like that. So I kind of have a funny story how I kind of discovered Eve. I kind of always knew about Eve, like whether it be from like YouTube ads or anything like that, because you see the headlines of Eve online, sometimes in the news outlets. So it is always kind of was in the back of my head. Then one day I was like, oh, I'm gonna actually start playing this game. It came at like kind of a turning point in my personal life where it was like I had lots of downtime. It was the holidays. It was kind of a perfect storm. And me and my girlfriend's father were kind of just like, riffing back and forth like we do. We talk video games and movies a ton. We're huge movie and video game buffs. And I had jokingly showed him this documentary like Down the Rabbit Hole or something like that I was like watching, obsessed with. And I looked at him. I remember looking at him saying, if I start this game, I was like, one day I am going to have one of the biggest corpse in the game. And I hadn't played at the time, so I didn't realize there was even alliances. I didn't even know what that was. So I had used the term corpse. And so yeah, so he was like, oh yeah, you're gonna totally do it, and I start streaming. I start, kind of launching an Eve with my first stream. So like it was this cool thing where this community found me and started, helping me along the way live in real time. So you got this really unfiltered, uncut, raw Boolum playing Eve for the first time. And so that's kind of how I found it. Was like it was always in the back of my head, but then I really took a leap when I found the documentary Down the Rabbit Hole. At this point, I think I've only been playing for like 2 months. Yeah, it was an absolute explosion that got me to this point. Yeah, it was cool because when I started playing and I was a part of this wormhole corp at first, and Darkshines at the time was poking into my streams. I didn't know who he was at the time, and everybody, that knew who he was would be like, "Oh my God, Darkshines is in your stream," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. I don't know who Darkshines is, but this is awesome that he's hanging out and giving me pointers and things." Um, and one day he decided to ping initiative, the whole alliance, to come raid my streams, and I mean, there's the VODs say the story where like it's like a total of 4-hour streams of me like trying to fight off a heart attack because this like dream come true moment was kind of dropped on me at the drop of a hat, or a drop of a ping in Darkshines case. So it was really cool, and the amount I've learned in 2 months of playing this game is absolutely unheard of. Like it's really awesome to have a alliance like Initiative at my side and being able to stream every day. Um, it kind of fast tracks my learning for sure. Oh, they are a perfect suit for my personality. I think in terms of Eve in communities, there is certain alliances, certain corps, and you got to just have this. You got to find what's fitting to you, how you play, and things like that. Because there is a niche for everyone in this game. I find Initiative the perfect suit. They love to joke around and have fun. They love to PvP and fleet up quickly and respond to things quickly. It's very right up my alley, and they are very helpful in terms of like learning the game. Um, yeah, I owe a lot. I would say over 98% of my knowledge to Initiative. When I first started playing, I was very overwhelmed, to say the least. I don't imagine a way how you can perfectly do the new player experience with a game like Eve. Uh, with that being said, I understood the agencies and the missions and things like that very easily, um, because it gave me a path to kind of follow, and then branch out from there. Um, but yeah, it was really hard there for the first week. I was just like stumbling over my buttons, my keyboard. I didn't even know what, you know. It's kind of like this new player experience is very guided, and you don't realize how much you can actually deviate after the fact. And I don't think that is very clear after the new player experience. Biggest pain point within Eve. That's a good question. I think with the little bit of I've dabbled in PI, it that's kind of a really like it. It's gonna feel confusing because I'm a new player already, but the UI and how everything operates in PI, it's really like convoluted and unnecessary, it feels like, in a lot of ways. But yeah, I would say the biggest pain point would probably be PI in my personal experience. Oh, I am too new to give critique on PI, man. There is a lot of people that are more qualified to do that. Uh, it just feels really confusing in how everything operates. It just needs to be tightened up and streamlined. Is the only very vague feedback I can give on that. Oh, I mean, oh, that's too hard. I have so many good memories. I just made one last night. Uh, I think it would be when I was brought to Initiative for the first time. Um, there was this really cool thing that happened. So when they first rated me on my streams, um, I was new to nullsec. I didn't know what nullsec was. I didn't know how it operated. Um, I've come to know that it's a lot to do with who's blue and who's neutral. Um, and at the time, we were blue and we had good standings with a lot of other alliances and things and corps. Um, but it was cool because I was considered a neutral at the time, and they personally escorted me to the fountain and their main stage it, and then they showed me these beautiful Titan battle these battleships and these titans, these ships I've never even seen before, and showed me these grand scale of all of EVE Online essentially. And then they, rolled out the red carpet for me. We're launching fireworks at their Fortizar. It was quite an experience. And then just seeing me fly around in my little ship around these massive ships, and the fact that they, escorted me to the fountain without getting me killed, was quite an experience. And that is one of my favorite memories, I think, was, seeing a main staging of a big alliance for the first time, and what they did for me. I feel like myself, I lay in such a weird kind of categories because I float a lot of the time. My objective is with my streams and doing this game is that I love to try stuff, because my philosophy when it comes to streaming this game is that showing that new people can get into this game and it can be really fun. Like, no matter what people say about EVE Online, there is some valid criticism. And I think at the end of the day, EVE Online is like a very unique game in terms of like how much fun and what you can do with it. And I want to show that to new people. So I want to kind of pave the way. I want to do a little PI. I want to do PvP. I want to do all these things to show people and have fun, and show that even bitter vets that they like to call themselves can still have fun or watch me enjoy the game. So I think what I mainly do is PvP, but I think, that would also be categorizing myself. And I feel like if you watch my streams, I'm doing random stuff within the game every single day. Of course he should. I love hearing Darkshines speak. He is a wealth of knowledge, and he's also a good person and a good personality. Of course, Darkshines should do this interview, and I'm sure you're going to show that to him to get him to be on. Yeah, I I really want to touch on as easy it is to say CCP, you you need to fix this, you need to fix that. I think we all need to be reminded, even CCP, that we do have a really awesome game. The EVE Online experience in the game itself is unlike anything on the market or I have played. I have played a ton of video games. And I think CCP needs to know that this criticism comes from a place of love and the player base wants to see it get better, but also the players need to be reminded that we do have something awesome. At the end of the day, we do. And I think that can become jaded with a 20-year-old game. Stuff can get old and boring and things like that. But there's not a lot of games that have a shelf life such as this and that give you the freedom that you do at the end of the day. And yeah, I think that's my little message that I kind of want to end the interview, that we do have an awesome thing. This community, this video game is really awesome. Yeah, you guys can find me at Twitch and YouTube, Boolum1 on both of those. You can ping me in the Discord. You can catch me on all social medias. But yeah, that's where I live. Eve mail. Yes, I do. I'm so bad at it, but yes, I do answer Eve mail.
Once again, we see that first impressions really do matter, especially among the new players. This is a core memory of EVE that I guarantee Boolum will be telling to his stream and at player gatherings for years to come. Don't think that this is a unique story, though. I've talked to many players over my time in EVE with stories just like this one. Unlike when I started 5 years ago, where I was the only new player streamer, there's a lot of new players that are streaming their experience. There's also plenty of stories about how corporations or alliances rolled out the red carpet for their new recruits. Do you have a story that you'd like to tell? I'd certainly love to showcase it here. Read the video description below and find out how to get a slot. But now, it's time to go and edit the next interview. Until next week, I'm Kshal, and this is Voices in New Eden.